Hey everybody, it's Comic Crack. I worked today, and when I came home, the last package that I had been expecting arrived earlier than I had thought. So I'm filming another nighttime video. It's because it's night that room back there looks so green and these walls look so blue, but I really like that look, especially that green room back there. So maybe we'll stick with some night recording videos for a while. So, as I said in the last part of the last video, I was going to sit and read the Michael Deforge Lose issue number 6, which we'll try to get some light on it there, was this puppy. So I had a chance to read it, and it was pretty good. Albeit a little creepy and a little disturbing and a little odd. So as I said, it's kind of bookended by, I thought it was just 2 short stories. It's actually three kind of short stories and stuff. So the first one is Michael Deforge, Lost in the Wood for Days, and it's supposed to be representing him lost in the woods and who would care, and these animals that are trying to coax him to stay with them. And you know what, there's actually nothing for you back at home, because we've already sent residents of the forest to both of your parents. They've adopted each one. They also have taken over your annual comic book series Lose as a writer-artist team. And if you're honest with yourself, you didn't have very much anchoring you to the outside world to begin with. Succumb. And then so he ends up just staying in the woods, and the last panel is the 2 creatures down there drawing the comic. So that was very entertaining. And the next one is titled Me as a Baby, about this woman who's an aunt. She lives with this man, and she's going to see her niece, take her niece to a recital where her niece plays clarinet, and you learn that her niece kind of has this, she's written this piece of music. She was humming a song in class, and the teacher kind of prompted her, or singing this song in class and around the school. Teacher prompted her to write it down and then perform it at this recital. And this girl is really excited. The aunt is pretty excited about it. It seems like the aunt and the mother, or her sister I guess rather, don't really get along. They don't go into any detail. But the girl's pretty excited to go, and the aunt goes so far as like, she's not excited about what she's been forced to wear, this dress. She hates it. Well, what would you like to wear? I'd like to wear something really colorful. So the aunt takes her to buy some clothes, and in the midst of this, they're mugged. They're approached by this figure that I will try to find a picture of here. This figure there, a cloaked black ink looking figure that steals the girl's clarinet. And the clarinet had her original music in there, and they have a few hours before they go to this before they have to be at this recital. So the mom kind of locks the child away in the car while she goes to investigate. It turns out it's this mafia group in town, and it's kind of like a cult kind of thing. She infiltrates the cult, and you just see her start to make bad decision after bad decision. You know, she has to smoke some, what I assume is like crack or something, to prove that she's not a cop. She commits these crimes to get into this mafia, all with the ultimate goal being to get the clarinet for the little girl again. But she just does these horrible things and makes these horrible choices. Thankfully, nothing happens to the little girl. She ends up doing her recital, and it kind of ends with the aunt crying because she doesn't want this girl to let her down as far as Sally looks beautiful. She's going to grow up cool, I can tell. And then she says, God, don't let me down, Sally. Sally, you fucking weirdo. And she's crying, like she just is putting so much into this girl, which I guess, you know, maybe parents do sometimes to their children. All the things that they regret in life, they just see these kids as these clean slates and want them to grow up somehow different from them. So it was a pretty good little story. I kind of liked it. But it definitely had its disturbing moments. And then at the end, we're treated with another of Deforge's look at Canada, which I've read some things before. So this last part is a Dogs of Canada, and it's just all this absolute nonsense about what dogs in Canada are like. Canadian dogs are distinctly unlike the dogs of other countries. Their dark purple fur, their lack of tails, and their tendency to stand upright separates them from other breeds, and it just goes into what the dogs of Canada are like. And if a dog of Canada, say, enters the United States, the puppies won't look like dogs of Canada. She gives an example of one particular dog, as was the case with Cha-Cha Happen, who gave birth after wandering across the border from South Junction, Manitoba, which is where I'm from, but Manitoba, to Rossau, Minnesota. Each of her puppies was a different breed. She quickly ate all of them in front of witnesses. It's complete nonsense, but it's entertaining with that slight surreal edge. But I really like his look at Canada bits that I've read in the past. And then the last is kind of a series of comic strips called Titters that I guess were published in other papers. I think this one was from, what does it say here? Titters strip originally printed in the Believer comics section. So there you go, look at that. And then of course, as I said, the fetishes of Michael Deforge on the back. The last fetish being, I become an alternative cartoonist. My comics amass a small but loyal following. You can count me in on that group there, you pervert. So there you go, there's Lou's number 6. He's a unique character for sure. Some really interesting books that I really get a kick out of. So I'd like to get more of those volumes. I think now I have 2 of them, and then I've got a graphic novel kind of compilation of some of his other stuff. So then the other bit was this gigantic box. So I was surprised to see this box show up because of what I ordered. I didn't quite understand why it would come in such an enormous box, and I can't remember what they charged me for shipping. And the way it goes with companies like this is they just get a shipping label printed up, so on nowhere do you see how much it actually cost. It shows you the weight of the box, and you know that it's this one in this case is 1 of 1. It's a UPS, so that's why it came so quick. But it's a bit of overkill, and I think it probably contributed to the fact that it cost what it did to ship. There's a little slip in here, but unfortunately it doesn't say the shipping costs on it. It just talks about what's in the package. Anyway, and it's especially funny when I then pull out these. So I'd say this Michael Deforge is a little bit, roughly the same size of an average comic book. So there's the size of these books that I bought. So they're tiny, so it makes it comical when you open up a box and this is what you see inside a gigantic, thick cardboard box. A little bit silly, but what are you gonna do? That's the way it came. They're in mint condition, I suppose. So I wanted to try out some Benjamin Marra stuff, and he's got the company called Traditional Comics. So, and they're kind of nice little square bound volumes. I don't know if there's an actual page count on the, yeah, it looks like about 24 pages according to the page count in here. And then with kind of a little title page and then about the author with some web links and stuff. So it's a 4-issue series so far, and it's called Night Business. Benjamin Marra, you might remember from the Humans spotlight that I did. He did one of the pinups on the back of, I think it was the back of the first issue. He's a guy that I've come across quite a bit in my searches over time online, and I think in some anthologies and things. I mean, I always liked his style, but I never gave it a shot. I never gave it a chance. There was always, when it comes to this kind of stuff, I always have a pretty big list of titles that I want to check out, so when I end up ordering stuff, it's, you know, selected works. So it's just a name that I haven't got around to. So that's issue number 1 right there. And then issue number 2 of Night Business. Hopefully you can see that okay. Tilt it towards the light a little more, and there's the back cover. Issue number 3 of Night Business. There's the back cover of that. It just looks just reeks of like the 80s and just looks trashy. I think it'll be entertaining to say the least. Again, these are, I'm assuming these are nowhere near child friendly. Yeah, and just a small glimpse through it proves that in about 0.5 seconds that it's definitely not child friendly. So there you go. But why would I ever read things that are child friendly? So by the looks of it, even on this page, 1983, so it even takes place in the 1980s. I don't know anything about the series. I didn't read any reviews about it or anything. It's just some of his stuff is out of print that I found on this traditional comics site. There was a couple other things that, I don't know, didn't look as interesting. This kind of looked the most appealing, and especially because there was 4 issues of it. I figured I wanted to give it, if I'm going to give this guy a shot, I wanted to give him a full shot of like, let's see what he can do with 4 issues of a comic. Unlike some of the other stuff that I've read recently and been talking about in these videos, this one might not have the same kind of content as far as some of the other ones goes, and by no means is that a criticism whatsoever. And plus, I could be 100% wrong about it too. It might turn out to be an amazing story with all this subtlety going on, but I somehow doubt it. I think it's just going to be fun. But his style is really unique. I kind of dig the style. I can't even really reference it to anything. There's nothing that it really looks like to me, you know. Really, really cool. So I'm excited to check these out. So yeah, written and drawn by Benjamin Marra. So as usual, I'll put a link in the, so 2014. Okay, so this issue 1 is 2014. So it's all really recent stuff too, which is good to know. What year did issue 4 come out then? I wonder if this was this year. Oh no, it's still 2014. So 4 issues in a year, plus whatever else work. So yeah, I'll put a link to stuff in the description. So there you go. Michael Deforge and Benjamin Marra. I believe Benjamin Marra has a book coming out through Fanatgraphics too, a collection of work. So yeah, I'll put a link to that if I find it as well too. Anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you soon.